Bo Duggan asks, what's a great process to go through to clearly identify and convey your USP, especially in a highly competitive market?
Bo, let me just, for everybody that's watching, just to try and make this relevant, USP is your unique selling proposition, USP. And so, it's actually quite a tough thing. Most people know they should have a USP, something that makes them unique. Most people struggle to find one. And most of the reason is they're too close. They're the plumber that's been a plumber forever, and all they can do is to see what everybody else does. That's the beauty for me. I look back at a business and I go, okay, well, let's find what makes you unique. So what's the process you have to go through? Well, let me tell you what happens if you don't. If you don't have something that makes you unique, you always have to compete on price. Okay, so in the absence of value, the only frame of reference your prospects have is price. When they're ringing around getting a price, it's because no one stopped the prospect in their tracks and said, well, let me educate you. Let me find out a little bit more about what you're looking for, and I might be able to steer you in a better direction. And as a consumer, I'm not always interested in the cheapest price, but the businesses tend to think that we are. And so they drop to the lowest common denominator. So that's why we've got to come up with something that makes us unique, because the more unique we are, the less we compete on price. So when it comes to something unique, we need to find a balance between something that is commercial, that the market want, and something that is true, okay? That's what we've got to find. And it's got to incorporate both of those. So, and we really want something that's in the delivery model or somewhere concrete in the business. So let me give you an idea of what I mean. Like fastest, cheapest, things like that. Look at your competitive advantage in that way is quite often a very good way to go. So, for the Aussies watching, we've got Bunnings. Bunnings, what makes them unique? They did that guarantee of lowest price or beat it by 10%. Okay, that makes them incredibly unique. And so, and they have more than one uniqueness. Uniqueness in Bunnings is the trade section. They have a massive trade audience that buy all their stuff from Bunnings. Okay, they were the first massive big box store, so they were unique in that regard. Okay. But take Masters, for those of you that are following along. Masters failed. They were a massive failure. Why? Because they weren't unique. No one could tell you where they sat in the market. The closest I ever heard somebody get it right when they were explaining Masters was a bit like IKEA and a bit like Bunnings. But you can't be a bit like your competitors and forge yourself a uniqueness in the marketplace. So that's the reason why they fell apart, because the consumer couldn't see where they fit. So just to give you some examples, we've had clients that, in amongst looking at their business, we found out that one of the things that makes them unique is they're a family business. Now that's not always going to work, and it's not even amazing. And your uniqueness doesn't always have to be amazing. It has to be true and it has to be commercial. But these guys, we worked out that they're a family business. It was a father, mother, and two sons that worked in the business and a few staff. And we found out that the market that they sell into really appreciated the fact they were also family businesses. So they really appreciated doing business with a family business. And so it was incredibly commercial that we went and marketed that as a USP, okay? But let me give you another example. A lady by the name of Sharon, who owns a uniform supply business, okay? So high-vis, corporate wear, that sort of thing. When we looked at her business and the industry generally, we found out that one of the things that makes Sharon business unique is she has a fully stocked showroom, with thousands of garments there in a showroom with a change room. And so people can actually go and book an appointment and go to the showroom and try and feel and see, which was quite different to most uniform supply companies who bring samples in from China and send them back if they don't work, and they don't have that experience of coming in and having an appointment and doing a fit out, okay? So once we realized that that was actually unique and commercial, we marketed that like mad, and it took a huge amount of market share out because it was something that the market wanted. So it was in their business model. It wasn't some fluffy slogan that was going to stay in the mind of the prospect. It was actually something fundamental in their business that made them unique that we could then go out to the market with. That was the thing that caused the biggest gain. So just to kind of wrap that up to make it simple for you, you've got to, if I were you, I'd take a whole step back from your business as a whole and look at it and go, okay, well, what are we doing differently that's going to make us unique? You know, is it the fact that we have parking and nobody else does? Is it the fact that, we only employ young people and that's an advantage? You know, or is it, the point where, we only employ old people and that's our commercial advantage? You just got to take a step back. You look, what are we doing differently and what's commercial about that, okay? And then go to the market with that uniqueness, market it, put it on the front foot, tell the world about it, and it'll be the thing that lets your prospects get a handle on you, why you, and then more people will buy from you, okay? That's ultimately the reason why. Solid question.